Hello, welcome to another Mainspring Watch blog episode, and you can find us on mainspringwatch.blogspot.ca. And today we have here a Casio. It's not a Casio G-Shock, which I bet a lot of you were hoping it would be, but we're looking at everyman's watch, essentially, today, and I have the Casio Edifice Chronograph. So there's a racing model. For racing cars, obviously. It's sort of the equivalent of the Tag Heuer Carrera, and it's got quite a large face. The face is actually 46 millimeters across. That's the diameter of the face. From lug to lug, it's 60 millimeters. Maybe, don't quote me on that. That's probably even farther than that, actually. And it is as all Casios are, Japanese made. Let's see if we can find that. Focus. No, it's just too small, but those little smudgy things under there, where it would usually say Swiss made, now it's all fuzzy in there, where it would usually say Swiss made, actually say Japanese movement. Because it is Japanese movement, of course. Casio is a Japanese company, most famous for their G-Shock, of course, and supplying that to the military, and so on. I actually do like this one a lot because of its complication. It's a quartz watch, and we'll talk about that a little later. First, I'm going to point out to you some things. I've had this since about since August, actually, and it's fared quite well. No, it has not done bad, I will tell you. It's stainless steel bracelet, of course. They use that type of Japanese polishing technique in here on the band. It's got a safety clasp and a tri-fold bracelet. You have Edifice, That's actually stamped. There's a stamp in there. So you got the Focus Edifice logo right there. That's a stamp, so you can actually see it on the other side. However, not really actually, it's sort of melty on the other side. Got that sort of thing. Now if we look in the middle, probably not going to see this, but in the very center it says Casio Edifice, whatever you say. 10 bar, which means it's got 100 meters of water resistance. EF-539, which is the model. Japanese movement. Casio, cased in China. Stainless steel, and then it goes around, so it says 10 bar. Again, water resistant. 10 bar. What I actually really like about this is the fact, not only that it has a blue bezel, but it also has that PVD coated stuff here, which actually on this watch it doesn't. It works, it's very stylish, but it comes off a bit easier than some other PVD watches I know. Not the worst. But in there it says Edifice Casio Chronograph, water resistant 100 meters. Oh my god. Yeah, there's no way you're gonna see that. So let's talk about the functions now a little bit. As you probably noticed, the moving hand down, get this straight in, zoom out a bit so this doesn't shake up, and the moving hand down there is the seconds hand. This hand is the hours hand, and it's the duo hours counter hand, meaning it's got 0 to 6 on the outer ring, and on the inner ring with the shorter hand it's got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Sorry, that was out a bit, but the complication works pretty well. So you press this pusher and it starts up there, and it's the long hand that would normally be used as a seconds hand. You can see that there. And the cool feature is that it has automatic flyback while in motion, so you can do that without stopping it. Some watches you have to go like this. It starts moving. See, like that. You've got to stop it and then reset it. You don't with this one. And it's got up to 12 hours. It's got 60 minutes. Minute indicator up to 60 minutes at the top. Date window down here, and it's very easy to reset. Quick date adjustment. It's actually sort of hard to get it, you know. Date adjustment is skipped over a lot on this watch. So to adjust the date, you simply move it forward. It actually takes, hold on, it's actually backwards. It's backwards on this watch. I'm not really sure why, and it takes a lot. Like, it takes a lot to move it. And I have no idea why it does that, because all my other chronographs are like you flick it less than a turn and it actually will. So let's get in there. See, you can see that. Actually, this is probably worse. What the heck is happening with my camera tonight? Anyway, you're flicking through it. Reverse movement. I can't really remember that, and it goes through them there, and then you pull it out to get time adjustment, and you adjust by the minutes and so on. If you go around, there's a PM AM setting, and you can't actually distinguish. Right now I'm on PM. Now a lot of other watches, they have adjustment in case your chronograph hands become out of sorts and they are moved, for example. So this one is a bit different though. Hold on, that doesn't do anything yet. You actually, timekeeping mode, what it is in now, you push this pusher once and just keep pushing it to put this around the whole entire side. And because it doesn't have a rotating bezel, that's probably why you can do this, so that you could possibly set this. You can't set anything else on it, which is really strange. Like, you can't shift through anything or set any of the other ones. I guess it's because they've got very efficient flyback and they're held in place well. It's got a tachymeter, I'm not sure if I mentioned that, and it's 400 of metric units or imperial units up to 60, which is where they all stop actually. Some go to 500, I think there's some that go to 600 and 700 as well. Don't call me on that though, because I'm actually not sure about that. It's actually held up well. It's held up well, but it's got quite a few scratches. That's one of the reasons why I don't like it as much as some other watches, like as much as I like Henry Birkinson's, and it's, here, I'll show it on my wrist, because I'm a bit allergic, I'd say, to steel. I'm not good with steel, for the most part, even stainless steel. And it's a pretty big watch. I do not have a big wrist at all. I have a really, really small wrist, but it still looks very, very nice on the wrist, on anyone's wrist, really. And it's just probably the styling and the way it sits. It's quite close to the wrist, actually. No, roll up my sleeves here. And one more thing that I want to point out is it has very good loom, or decent lasting loom, I'd say, because the loom does not last the longest. What I've got is I've got like an industrial floodlight, or lighting thing. I'm not sure what you call it. It's for filming, and well, it charges things quite quickly, so I'm just going to put the loom up in it for about, a few seconds. It's probably going to be very hot or something now, and actually a few more seconds on that. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you a bit about the Casio Edifice collection, because they do have quite a few watches. Some of them are ridiculously priced for what they are, and some of them, like this one, are not bad. And this one retails for about $200. I actually bought it for $120, which I think $200 is too much for a watch like this, especially with the breakability. I'm going to say breakability of it. It just doesn't hold up as well as I thought it would for a watch of $200, which is a fair price to pay for a watch like this. Since it's not Swiss made, it's Japanese racing watch, and so on. Okay, here we go for the loom. And there's still lights on, actually. So if I cover this, it actually has quite good loom. It's even better, like, the camera doesn't even do it justice. It's very good, very bright green loom, but it doesn't last all that long. That's what I'm gonna have to say about that. It's not the longest lasting loom, but you can see it. Let's turn this back on here. Let the camera adjust. I would buy this watch again, I suppose. Well, if I had to buy it again, I might get like a Fila or something. But if I had to buy it again, I'd still buy a watch like this. It's a nice racing watch. Realistically, it's probably sort of a Tag Heuer, as I said before, imitation a bit, except Japanese. It's not an imitation, but you're getting quality because it's Casio. It's very, very high quality, but it can be damaged. Like it's gotten scratched. Fingerprints did not come off as easily, even with my little special cloth here, watch cleaning cloth. They don't. Rubbing alcohol didn't really even take them off properly. So I'm gonna have to say it's probably a 3.5 star, which is pretty for a racing watch of this price. If you can get it at Costco, definitely. You don't need a membership to order online. That's what I did. $120. That's with shipping. It's about $100. But honestly, I think it's too big and doesn't have enough complications on it. I think it's a bit plain for the size of it, and unless you're doing a lot of driving, it's not going to be of any benefit, the extra size. And but the chronograph is really good chronograph movement in here. If you see another Casio Edifice, there's a red one that looks like this, a bit smaller, and it's got a slide rule and stuff on that. It's like the baby brother of this one. That would also be a very good one to go for, just because one, it's a Casio Edifice, very good watch, even racing watch, and two, because it's just got a bit of the upgraded technology here. And thanks for watching. You can subscribe to my YouTube videos, or you can post some comments on my blog. That would be very nice. We don't have a lot of comments yet. I'm trying to get our ads up and working and so on, and that'll be done pretty soon. So our website will be, or our blog rather, will be better than ever. Thanks, guys, and yeah, remember that we're mainspringwatch.blogspot.ca, and if you need any advice on choosing a new watch, you can definitely come to us, and we definitely know the best deals in Canada and all around the United States. Some pretty good deals out there, and yeah, thanks for watching.